Welcome to Behind the Scenes at Hamilton Homes. This is Shani.
Hi.
This is Tara.
Hi.
And this is Andrew.
You are Andrew.
Welcome. So, the two founders of Hamilton Homes are Shani and myself, Andrew. And today we have a special guest, our daughter Tara, who's going to be doing the interviewing.
Hi guys, I'm Tara. I'm their eldest daughter, and today I'm going to be asking them a couple questions because I have a project for university which is all about entrepreneurs, so who better than them? Okay. So the first question is about your background. So I just wanted to know, how old were you guys when you first started your business?
Okay.
I was 27, 28.
And I was 28, 29.
Okay, what skills did you think you could bring to the table?
So my background has been always in banking. So I did business finance at university, and then I worked in a couple of banks, and then I worked for a French bank called Crédit Agricole in the Suez as a private banker. And that enabled me to work well with wealthy clients, understand their needs, their requirements, and so I'm more of a people person.
Okay.
Yeah. And I did industrial economics at the University of Nottingham, which was very much like management and mixing economics of the marketplace. So it was really interesting. You learnt about firms. We did a lot of management. So after that, I got a job in Barclays on a graduate scheme. And then following that, I did some lecturing, teaching in investments and management. But I think we both always had the dream to set up our own business.
Okay, and how did you come up with the idea? So why did you decide estate agents?
So I've always loved property. I've always been inquisitive, and I always loved seeing other people's houses and how they've got them decorated. And we actually, I think the main driver as well, we bought a house, and we bought the house in Spain, and we really were very unhappy with the service that was provided by the estate agents and the whole process. I mean, we even got to the notary after waiting for 6 months to try and buy this house. And basically the banker said, oh, you haven't got enough money to buy this house. And we were ready to sign. And the banker said, but don't worry, we'll lend you some more money. So we were like...
We were really lucky.
So I think it was a whole series of events, but that was...
Yeah, I also think that one of the things was like Andrew says, there was a gap in the market, and there was a lot of expatriates coming over to Spain and who were in a position like us where we're used to having things done in a certain language in a certain way, and a lot of the sellers were then Spanish, so obviously we both spoke English and Spanish, so it put us, plus we understood the culture here, so it put us in the perfect position to try and actually be intermediaries between these two parties. So it was just the right place, right time, I think.
Okay, and in terms of advice, did you seek advice from anyone in particular?
Yep, we did. We spoke to a couple of business people who were actually clients of mine at the bank. And one person in particular, we presented him with the business plan, and we showed him all our projections, and he basically said, don't do it.
Okay.
So...
A lot of people told us not to do it. We also spoke to my father, who had his own business. He was also not so keen for us to leave the world of banking, two solid good jobs, but we were presented with a great opportunity, and it was either do it while you're young or always dream about it.
Yeah, we didn't want to have any regrets.
So obviously you guys have a family business. So I wanted to know, do you think it's a good idea to start a family business? What kind of difficulties do you see with it?
It's a good question.
It is a very good question. I think I've never regretted having a family business. I think you need to have a certain kind of personality though. So if you're not a kind of person who can be maybe self-motivated or be able to juggle, or also not have, like, you have to create your own structure. And obviously there's no one paying you at the end of the day. So when times are hard, you're looking after others. And when times are good, they are good. But you have to deal with that fluctuation, that turbulence.
Yeah.
And that's hard, but there's also lots of benefits with it. Because, I mean, like, we have Talia, who's got special needs. And basically, it allowed us, for those few years when she was first born, and we had a lot of times when we had to go to hospital and stuff, it allowed us a bit of flexibility to maybe work. I could work from home, or I could work a bit later at night or a bit earlier in the morning. I didn't have to completely remove myself from a business, but I would never have been able to have another job. No way.
Okay.
But the good thing as well is that we complement each other quite nicely. So I'm out of the office most of the time, and Shani is
more behind the scenes, yeah,
in the office and organising everything and managing everything together with Debbie, I would say. So we complement each other well.
And before starting, did you know that you were going to be the one out there selling and you were going to be the one behind the scenes, or was that kind of something that just happened?
I think we pretty much knew that.
Yeah, we kind of knew that.
I mean, when we started, Tara, you were literally just 2.5, and Natasha was a baby. So I was already in that mother working role. So I kind of assumed that role, and we had an office open to the public. On weekends, we'd have the side office with a playpen and stuff, and you guys would be playing there, so I would be in and out. My forte was more in the marketing and the management and the strategy, and Dad's was always being with people and being out. So it kind of worked naturally.
And like you say, it's a family business, so we built the
into
business around the family.
Exactly.
And we built the family around the business, as you know.
Okay. In terms of employees, how many employees have you had throughout the business?
So over the years, I mean, we've been going now, this is our 18th year.
Yeah.
So we've had many employees throughout the times. One employee in particular, who's Debbie, has been with us since almost the beginning. Okay. So she's part of the family. And so she's the stable stable one holding us all together.
Just very sturdy and stable, and especially at times like this, it's really good to have someone like that on board.
Okay.
We also started off with a lot of family in the business. So when we first started the business, Shaman, my brother, was actually helping us and also working with us in the business. And my father was also helping us with all the IT side. In those days, we weren't really... the internet was just starting up. There were lots of things just starting up. So he would help us with the technological side of things.
Yeah.
Okay, in terms of promotion and marketing, how do you market and promote your business?
So obviously we've got our website, and mainly it's through property portals. Okay. But what we're trying to do is actually be a little bit more out there, a little bit more social, a little bit more on the internet.
Yeah, we're trying to do a bit more on Instagram, a bit more on Facebook. But apart from that, we're trying to make a bit of a difference. So we're trying to do more with videos, more like, I don't know if you've seen our Come View With Me videos, which is almost like you're having a personal tour around a house. We really believe that each property has a unique thing about it, and there's always someone for a property. But sometimes it's hard to find that in photos, or hard to just see that in a walkthrough video. But when you've got Dad actually speaking through it, it feels like you can actually get to know and feel a little bit more of what that property is about. So we're trying to do things like that.
And be a bit fun as well.
Yeah, because at the end
life
of the day...
Life is too short.
Yeah, that's what we've decided. I think as we've got a bit older, we've been more interested in putting the fun into the business. And what we've found is that many of our clients enjoy that fun too. Many people are moving over to have that lifestyle. Yeah. The sun, the sea. And, you know, you've got to enjoy what you do every day. Otherwise, there's no point in going to work. Yeah. Well, you have to for money, but, but you need to enjoy it.
And in terms of your unique selling point, what would you say it is?
I think from my point of view, it's a very personalised service that we offer. Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of our clients do come back to us. We have a lot of repeat clients, and there's a lot of word of mouth. But I also think our backgrounds, we
didn't just set up without any knowledge at all. We had a good banking background, we've got a good finance background, we know how mortgages work, so we can give good advice.
Yeah, and we're constantly trying to learn things. We're constantly, we love learning, so I don't think we just keep still.
Okay, next question. Do you still enjoy being entrepreneurs, and what keeps you motivated?
So yeah, we do. I think every day is different. Mm-hmm. Every day is a challenge. Mm-hmm. And so you wake up in the morning thinking, okay, great, I'm going to do this, this and this. And in the end, you do X, Y and Z totally different. Mm. So I think that variety, that challenge is very good. Sometimes it's frustrating, but no 2 days are the same. So I think that is the challenge that keeps us motivated to continue.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. I enjoy the fact that you can do things the way you want to do them. Mm. So if you want to do something different, you can. And if you want to do something that's a bit out there, you can.
Yeah.
And you don't really have to worry about answering to anyone about it.
Obviously, at the end of the month, if you haven't made sales, you don't make the money. And if you don't make the money, you don't get the food.
Yeah, it's obviously a risky role. You have to take a certain amount of risk, but you have to take calculated risk. So you have to be able to analyse a lot of stuff. But at the end of the day, if you want to do something that's going to make a difference in your life, and you don't want to be controlled by anything else, then, you know, you have the options to make decisions. And even when times are tough, you can choose whether to be positive, whether to look at it positively, whether to be more creative. There's always something out there, but you just have to have that going. And it's exciting because it's never the same, like that says.
Yeah.
Okay, and do you think you maintain a good work-life balance?
I mean, that's... I think it's not a question of a balance, but it's balancing. So balance is basically stagnant. It's not moving. So it's all about balancing. So sometimes, obviously, work is more important, and then other times, family is more important. So it's a question of adjusting and balancing.
Family is always the most important of me. But obviously the food has to come in.
Yeah,
so,
the money has to come in.
So
the school fees have to come in.
So if you're working hard, it's for that end. It's to get to the family. Yeah. It's not because you don't want to be with your family.
No, but sometimes you have to sacrifice.
Yeah, you do. Yeah,
to
you do. Yeah.
Get your benefits.
But I think between us we try and do that balance too. So there might be times when you have to work harder, and then I just have to be more
at home
with the family, and we kind of try and balance between us if we can.
Okay, and what kind of sacrifices would you say you've made for your business?
What sacrifices have we made? I mean, there's been sacrifices, obviously. We've like, for example, Dad works Saturdays, and sometimes they've been very long Saturdays and weekends. We don't completely switch off.
That's probably the biggest thing, that we have sacrificed our weekends.
Yeah.
So for the last 18 years, we have worked every weekend.
Yeah, mostly.
So that's been difficult in the sense of the family to say, okay, let's go away for a weekend.
Yeah.
We've really thrown ourselves into...
And also, when you go on holidays and stuff, you've always got one ear on what's going on. So you
can't really switch off.
Completely switch off. We try, but it's not always easy, and often this has been an issue. Like, Dad's wanted to be answering emails, and maybe we want to go and do something. We have to wait before we can go out and do something. So yeah, we have sacrificed that kind of time, but at the same time, we love what we do. So
yeah, and we've had benefits thanks to the hard work.
Thanks to having the business. So
the business.
You kind of weigh it out.
And what are the main challenges you have faced with your business?
I think the fact that each day is different, and each sale is different, and each client is different.
Okay.
So you can't say, right, this is going to be exactly like this, and the sale is going to start here and it's going to end here, and it's all going to be happy, happy, happy. You've got to adapt and adjust to the process.
I think also the external environmental situation, the way that the world is, the different things that happen. So if you have something like Brexit, well, you have no hold over the exchange rate. if you have something like coronavirus and you can't go out and show around, you have no hold over that. So obviously there's some things that are environmental that you have no hold of, and those are the hardest.
Yeah, those are the hardest.
But
I mean, we went through the financial crisis of 2007, 2008, and in Spain it was hard hit. It was until 2014 was the lowest point, and it was just one way down. And even from 2014, it was going up, but slowly. And then the Brexit, 2016.
Yeah.
And now we have coronavirus. So all of these externalities definitely are big problems.
And they've brought on big challenges of how to rearrange your business, how to rethink strategies, how to make things more creative. Where do you go? And often it's uncertainty, so you're dealing with an uncertain future. So yeah, that's tough, but at the same time, it's also exciting because there are things that you need to look forward to, and it keeps us young, it keeps us thinking, it keeps our minds alert.
And would you do anything differently looking back?
I think, what would you have done? I think there's a lot of things because you learn as you go along.
Yeah.
So
hindsight is a wonderful thing.
There's so many things I would have done.
But at the same time, I wouldn't do it again. I would do it again.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely I would do it again. I mean, I possibly would have I would have liked to have learned a bit more about HR and done more in human resource management, I think. But I think you just learn through practice.
Yeah.
And I think we're here where we are because we've been through that.
Yeah. It's experience, and you only learn experience by making mistakes.
And you have to be able to make mistakes, but just you have to get up afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. That's the key with mistakes. You've got to be resilient and say, okay, that's a mistake. Let's overcome that. Let's move forward. Let's see what we can do better next time.
My intention is always to do the best and my grandfather used to always say to me, which I really liked, is treat every client as though they were your family, as though they were as you yourself would be treated. And I'd like to think every time a client comes in, we are doing that. Obviously, sometimes they're just situations, and this is also to do with challenges, where maybe you're selling a bank property, or maybe you're selling a property from an investment company, and they lay out the rules, and actually in those cases, if they make it drag on for so long, they make it drag on, and there's nothing we can do.
Yeah.
And at times like that, we've sometimes found that we've had unhappy clients, but usually it's when things are completely out of our control.
On another note, do you think innovation is important in business?
Definitely.
And how have you achieved this, or are you achieving this?
Innovation is the key. You need to be adapting and basically reinventing all the way through. If you stay still,
you get lost.
You die.
Drown.
You die.
But basically, if you stay still, you're not moving forward.
You have to move forward.
And the world is changing. The technology is changing. In fact, the pace of change in these last 20 years has been immense.
Yeah.
You want to be more online. You want to be more video, more social media.
Yeah. Be able to connect with people more. And I think that, it's all going that way. Innovation takes a lot of time as well. And I think both of us wish we had more time to do it because we're both very interested in it. We both like new things.
Yeah.
Okay, and do you believe that young input is necessary or
Definitely.
is important?
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Okay, why?
If you look at the demographic of clients, all the youth of today are clients of tomorrow. And I mean, over the last year we had a person who came for an internship, and basically it helped us to build up our blog, it helped us to get our Instagram account going.
Yeah.
I mean, we've used you a lot for translations. It's just a different way of thinking.
Yeah,
and
new
ideas,
ideas,
I think
new way of thinking.
Yeah, I think also you can get stale. You can get used to your job, and you can do things a certain way. And when you have a young person coming in who has not actually had the time to form a certain opinion based on everything else and just based on time, they come in with fresh eyes, and sometimes they pick out something that's so glaringly obvious, but obviously when you do something day in, day out, you yourself don't pick it out. So it definitely makes a difference to have young input.
Okay, cool. In terms of the future, where do you see yourself going, or what are your key objectives for the next few years?
I think obviously the main thing is work-life balance. You know, we don't profess to have a massive company with hundreds of employees. We just want to have a good quality of life, enough money to do some nice things in life. We want to have a personal business. So we want to stay small but stay close to our clients and service them well.
Yeah, I think we both feel like we don't want to lose that touch. But at the same time, I would also like to free up a bit more time so that we can work more on strategy and build new ideas up in the business. So I would really like to maybe have some of the simple tasks or the day-to-day running. I would really like to be able to have maybe a team able to do that so that we can step back and actually really implement interesting things.
Okay. Would you consider starting another business?
Always.
And if so, what lessons would you apply?
I think we're always thinking of new businesses.
Always.
We're always thinking of new ideas, new things, how to improve businesses.
Yeah, and also complementary businesses. How do you add on to the business you already have? How do you tweak it and change it a bit? We are constantly thinking, and I think if something came up, we would, definitely.
Yeah. So I think one thing that we would like to work on is perhaps a diversification. So what we've noticed, especially in the current time that we're in a lockdown, is we've got all our eggs in one basket. So the minute that you can't go out and you can't go and show houses, you don't have a business.
Yeah.
So we would, and we are thinking, how do we diversify in order to be able to expand and not have all our eggs in one basket?
Yeah, and it's like what we told you with this business, because we're so susceptible to the external environment, and it's like this, it fluctuates. I think diversification going forward is definitely a lesson from this lockdown, and also going back from the last crisis. I think this is just a definite saying you do need to look at diversification.
I wanted to ask, what kind of tips would you have for someone interested in becoming an entrepreneur? Like, what kind of main things would you warn them about or encourage them to do?
I think the main thing is you've kind of got to do what you enjoy doing, because after the first few months and then the first few years, you have to continue. It's a hard work. So I think you've got to enjoy what you do, number one, and basically get up when you're down and be resilient, be strong, be able to pull back and push back and basically continue going forward.
Yeah, be very, very, well, you have to be a hard worker more than anything, and very self-motivated, I'd say.
Yeah. And be, it's going back to the thing, when you are going to be knocked down,
you have to be confident.
You have to be able to say, okay, let's just get up and let's move on. You
have to have a bit of self-belief. There are going to be lots of people out there who will tell you you're doing the wrong thing. There are going to be lots of people out there who criticise you. Also, you get emotionally attached to your business, but you need to try and learn a certain type of detachment. The best advice you can give to clients is when you're a little bit objective too. So you have to be attached and wanting the best for them, but you also have to have a little bit of detachment so you can make objective suggestions.
I think also as an entrepreneur, you do need to have short-term goals, medium-term goals, and long-term goals. And I think it's very easy to get caught up in the day-to-day running of the business that you then forget about the medium and you forget about the long-term. And it's also very important to put away enough money during the process to have a cushion and have a surplus, so that in times of difficulty you basically have enough money then to be able to push through, because there are going to be ups and downs.
Yeah. I also think that if I was talking to someone who's starting, I'd say really keep an eye on the cash flow. That's one of the first things you should make sure you keep an eye on, because that's the easiest way to go down, I think.
Yeah, cash flow, 100% cash
flow.
So
important.
Because, we all want the best. We want the best office, we want the best advertising, we want everything the best. But money is the constraint, so you need to budget.
And do you think risk-taking is something important for entrepreneurs?
So risk-taking, you have to be willing to take risk, but it has to be small, calculated steps. So in fact, when we first set up the business, and we spoke to this businessman who gave me good advice, he said, as you build your business, build it slowly and have a strong base, exactly. And whenever you take a risk, just take enough risk so that if it doesn't work, you're just going to go back down to the step below. Not that you're going to lose everything.
Yeah, I think don't be greedy as well. You know, really assess. I mean, when we first started, there were some amazing projects, and people made millions on some of those projects. But Dad and I assessed them because we have economic backgrounds. We looked at it and we looked at the price per square meter, and we're like, this is not a good investment. This doesn't make sense. So we advised our clients not to buy there. And many people said to us, what are you doing? You could have made loads of money. And we're like, well, we're not here to make lots of money. We're here for the long haul. We want to be here in so many years' time, and we want to feel good going to bed at night. So I think, like Dad says, slowly and consistently is the way forward.
And Tara, from your point of view, basically growing up in a business environment with a family enterprise.
Has it put you off? Or has it made you want to be an entrepreneur?
I mean, it hasn't completely put me off, but it's definitely opened my eyes to like how hard it actually is and how much work definitely goes into it, because I guess from the outside one could just think it was similar to having a job, you know, like you just don't think much about it if you don't live around people that are entrepreneurs. But yeah, obviously seeing it from this close, it's very, very hard work. So I think I'd have to be very sure and very motivated with my idea, and maybe have a partner to do it with or something like that. But yeah, I'm not sure yet. But yeah,
cool.
It's not completely out.
Okay,
in my mind.
that's interesting.
So we hope you've enjoyed this little snippet behind the scenes of Hamilton Homes.
Yep, if you want to know anything else, just let us know in the comments down below and subscribe to our channel. Well, their channel.
Thank you.
Thank you.